Okay, this is the second video that you're going to have to do some more things on expressions. So we are going to combine more than one operation in one expression. I'll write the words and you'll have to write the expression and its value. The value is just what would that equal if you put an equal sign into it. So find out what it would be. So let's look at this first one. 20 times the sum of 5 and 7. 20 times the sum of 5 and 7. So on your boards right now or paper, I want you to try to write down what would that expression look like. Twenty times the sum of 5 and 7. Hopefully you wrote down this as the expression. 20 times the sum of 5 and 7. And you realize, remember the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally order of operations? We want to know the sum of 5 and 7 before we multiply it. So we put these parentheses, please. That's what the P in please stands for, so that we know that we should do that first. Now try to find the value. Like, for example, what is 5 plus 7, and then multiply that by 20. That's how you find the value of this expression. So try to do that right now. This is what you should have done. Well, 20 times 5 plus 7 equals 20 times 12, because 7 plus 5 is 12. And 20 times 12 is 240. I did 2 times 12 is 24, and then added the 0. Let's try the next one. Divide, which is one of the harder ones to do, the difference between 600 and 200 by 10. So you need to put that into an expression first. Divide the difference between 600 and 200 by 10. When you're doing this, we need to find the difference of 600 and 200 first, and then divide that by 10. So make sure you're writing it that way. Make sure it's showing that 600 minus 200, the difference, which just give you part of the answer, is done first. So you have to do the signs or the symbols that tell you need to do it first, then divide it by 10. This is the expression. The difference between 600 and 200 is written as 600 minus 200 with parentheses because I want to do that first, and then I'm going to divide that all by 10. I want you to try to evaluate that. Try to evaluate that. Meaning find the value. Oop. Well, here it is. Didn't mean to do that, but you should add 600 minus 200 divided by 10 equals 400 divided by 10, which would be 40. This bold word right here is the value. The letters of word, bold numbers over here are the value of the expression. Try a different one. The sum of 5 twelves and 4 eighths. The sum of 5 twelves and 4 eighths. Write the expression for that. Think about how you write 5 twelves and how do you write 4 eighths, and then you have to the sum of that. This is the expression you should have written. 5 twelves is 5 times 12. 4 eighths is 4 times 8. And you want the sum of both of them. And I want these in parentheses, making sure I do that first. Sum goes in the middle. Excuse me. Now try to find the value of this expression. Solve for the parentheses and then do the operation in the middle, which is adding. You should have gotten 5 times 12 plus 4 times 8 equals 60 here, because 5 times 12 equals 60. 4 times 8 equals 32, and 60 plus 32 equals 92. That is your value. Try another one. The sum of 4 twelves and 6 twelves. This is a unique one. Since they're both 12s, we can write it two different ways. You can write it, we can go back to this one similar to this. It's similar to this, the first way we can write it, but since they are both 12s, since they are both 12s, we can write it two different ways. You can do it just like the one before this one, which would be 4 times 12 plus 6 times 12. But again, since they're both 12s in here, you could just add the 4 and 6, because wouldn't you agree that 4 12s and 6 12s is the same thing as 10 12s? Because if you add 4 12s to 6 12s, you would get 10 12s. So this is the other way. 4 plus 6 times 12, which would give you 10 12s, which would be the same as that. Those are the two expressions you could have written only because these two have 12s. Back here, that didn't work because we had 12s and we had 8s. So we couldn't add those two together because they were separate units. We have 12 units and we have 8 units. So you couldn't just combine them together like we can here. 4 plus 6 is the same because they were both 12s. Try to find the value of that. Solve in parentheses and then add, or solve in this parentheses and then multiply. You should have gotten this right here. From this first one, you have 4 times 12 equals 48, plus 6 times 12, which equals 72. Add those right together, you get 120. The second one, 4 plus 6 times 12 is the same as 6 plus 4, which equals 10. So 10 times 12 is 120. Either way, you get the same value. Let's try this one. 14 times the sum of 18 and 2. Write the expression for it. 14 times the sum of 18 and 2. Hopefully this is the expression that you got. 14 times 18 plus 2. This is the sum. And again, that is in parentheses. So try to solve for this expression, right? Find the value of this expression. Think about what is 18 plus 2, and multiply that by 20, or 14, sorry. Try not to pause the video. It might just take too long. Hopefully it doesn't take very long for people to find out the values. They should at least know how I got the answer. So the value of the expression 14 times 18 plus 2 equals 14 times 20, because 18 plus 2 is 20. 14 times 20 is 280. There's the value. Now we're going the opposite. I'm going to give you the expression. You have to put it into words. So how would you put this expression into words? And write it down. Make sure you're writing. This expression in words would look like this. 8 times the sum of 270 and 21. I'll try to find the value of it. So I'm going to go back and look at this, the expression, solve the parentheses first, and then find the answer. So I took 270 plus 21 and got 291. And I took that number times 8, which you should have gotten this right here, 2,328. Try another one. How would you say this one in words? Make sure you're writing, and then also try to solve it after you get it in words. Try to solve the problem. This is what it would be in words. The sum of 710 and 410 times 9. Try to solve it now. So I'm saying what is said first in my words, and then what's second. This is the sum of 710 and 410 times 9. Next, this is the answer. So your value should have been 710 plus 410 times 9. So 1,120 times 9, which would be 10,080. Last one for this video. Write that expression in words. This could be written like this: divide the difference between 50 and 26 by 8, or the difference between 50 and 26 divided by 8. Either way, I'm running out of time. These videos can only be 15 minutes long, so I'm going to give you the answer here quick. I'm going to leave about 30 seconds left. So you could have either of those down, but the value would still be 50 minus 26 divided by 8, which would be 50 minus 26, which is 24. 24 divided by 8 would be 3. That would be the value. We have about 15 seconds. So this is the end of expressions practice. This is all this stuff will be on the final test. Hopefully this helped you a lot, and you can do this with no problem. We'll talk more about it when I get back on Tuesday.